Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Jimmy Dore Show. I'm here with the political vigilante, Graham Elwood, and the miserable liberal. Hey.
I'm miserable.
I'm a vigilante.
So everybody knows that, I don't know if you know about this, but the DCCC, which is the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee, they're supposed to help Democrats win congressional races, but it's been revealed that they're only favoring the highly funded corporate-friendly Democrats against progressives. So if you're a progressive and you want to run for Congress, the DCCC, the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee, will work against you and will fund your opponent. And so that's been revealed all across the country. And the number two person in power in the House, Denny Stoyer, was caught on an audio tape admitting this, right? That they had a meeting. Well, here we go. So Levi Tillman is going to be represented by this guy. He's the progressive running for Congress in Colorado, and he's running against a corporate Democrat named Crow, who has already been being supported by the DCCC. Now, they're not supposed to do that, as far as I know, that in a primary, you're supposed to let the people choose who the candidate is, and then you come in and help whoever the people chose. That's not what's happening. What's happening is the party, with all their money and power, are getting in and putting their finger on the scale. They're actually jumping up and down on the scale for the corporate Democrat over the progressive time and time and time again. And they're cheating him also. They're doing that. They're cheating in lots of ways. We've already talked about how Nancy Pelosi cheated Stephen Jaffe, how the party did that. And so here we go. Here's a little bit of that conversation, just so you know. We've already covered this, but just so we give you background.
Well, because a judgment was made very early on.
He says, I'm for Crow because a judgment had been made early on.
I am for Crow because a judgment was made very early on. I didn't participate in the decision.
So your position is a decision was made, very early on before voters had a say. That's fine because that's the DCCC knows better than the voters of the 6th congressional district, and we should line up behind that candidate.
That's certainly the consequence of our decision.
So first he says, I didn't have any part of that decision. Then he said, no, actually, it's our decision. So I think we caught him lying. A. B. He doesn't have any problem admitting, yes, the party made a decision before this race started, and you're not part of that decision. And the party, in their wisdom, and let's just see, how wise is the party? Well, they lost to Donald Trump. They rigged the primary for Hillary Clinton because she was the stronger candidate, and then lost to Donald Trump, the most beatable candidate in the history of the world, except there was one more. Hillary Clinton, the only person on the face of the earth that could lose to Donald Trump. The Democrats, in their wisdom, rigged the primary so they could lose to Donald Trump. That's how smart they are. Then they lost the Senate. Then they lost Congress. They got wiped out in the Congress. And by the way, they're also wiped out in state houses across the country. They lost 70% of the governorships. They lost 1,000 state representative seats coast to coast. 1,000 they lost. So this idea that they know better than the people who are voting in a primary is horseshit. They don't. What they're doing is making sure that doesn't matter who wins or loses, it's going to be a corporatist. So they'd rather lose to a Republican than let a progressive win. How many times you got to have this proven to you? So that's what's happening right now with the Democratic Party. And Nancy Pelosi, so this was a big deal that this tape came out. And then they asked Nancy Pelosi about it, like, hey, you guys got caught cheating again. So I'm like, I wonder how she's going to apologize for this and say, of course, we represent progressives. We don't try to screw progressives. We try to represent everybody, and the people should choose. I thought that's what she was going to say. No, this is what she said. I don't see anything inappropriate in what Mr. Hoyer was engaged in conversation about. I don't see it. In the realities of life, if the realities of life is that some candidates can do better in the general than others, then that's a clear-eyed conversation that we should be having. This is not a clear... No, that's in back rooms. You guys have been deciding who the candidate is. That's not a clear-eyed conversation. That's you, again, being oligarchs in secret deciding who will be our leaders to not represent us, but instead represent the corporation who gives you money. So this is, again, she's just full of shit from start to finish. And you wonder why half the country doesn't vote? You wonder why the Democrats are wiped out? You wonder why people aren't excited to vote for Hillary Clinton or any of the Democrats? You wonder why the Democrats are actually losing ground to the Republicans when it comes to millennial voters? Losing ground. Here's one other thing else she said. I don't know that a person can tape a... Here's what she's really concerned about. I don't know that a person can tape a person without that person's consent and then release it to the press. That's what I'm more concerned about.
Nice deflection, Nancy. Way to go. Way to go.
So she's not concerned about that the people don't actually get to choose in the primary. She's not concerned that the progressives, again, are being cheated by the party. That the progressives have no representation in government right now because both parties are parties of management. There's no... that's not concerning to her. What concerns her is that we found out about it. Why are you... I thought you said we're supposed to be having... You don't have any problem with what he said, and we're supposed to have this clear-eyed conversation. But that's what you're concerned that we're actually having that conversation now?
This is what they did with the Podesta emails.
This is what they did. Yeah, go ahead.
They did with the Podesta emails. They didn't go, wow, this is some bad stuff. We got to talk. It's like, who released those? Julian Assange. Now the DNC is suing WikiLeaks. Right?
Yes. For telling the truth.
For telling the truth. All WikiLeaks does is if you bring me whistleblower information, I post it.
That's what you're supposed to do.
That's what I'm doing. The right thing. And you're blaming Julian Assange, who's a Russian puppet. I mean, it's preposterous. It's like if you have video footage of me breaking into your house, and you're like, Graham, we have footage of you breaking in and stealing stuff from my house. And I go, well, who put those cameras there, Jimmy?
Yeah, let's talk about that. The Russians?
Wait a minute. Yeah. Did you know those cameras were there? Or did you lure me in there to steal in your house when those cameras... Like, it's fucking insanity.
I'm just really concerned that we're finding out how bad the Democratic Party is right now. That's where I'm really just concerned.
So she's more concerned that, again, people found out the truth about how the Democrats are operating. She's not upset
that the truth is concerning.
That the truth is concerning. She's upset that the truth got out. Could these people be more right-wing authoritarians? The Democrats? Could they be more right-wing authoritarians? No. This is unbelievable.
It sounds like just the entrenched power brokers, oligarchs, kleptocracy, whatever you want. This is what they've always done for decades, for centuries. They just tell you, shut up, we're in charge, don't question us. And when they get busted, they'll never go, man, you got me, I'm sorry, we need to make some changes. Never.
You know, it makes me think about, again, how Howard Dean decided when he was a super delegate, no matter how his state was swinging, he knew better.
He knows better. That's the whole thing. So just to remind everybody, there is an election coming up. Stephen Jaffe, who I'm with on the issues, right? Look at how look how good he is on the issues. Guy couldn't talk his way out of a paper bag. You could hand him a line to say, and he'll fuck it up. It's unbelievable. Every time he talks, he looks like someone just woke him up out of a sleep. I don't know what's going on with that guy, but he's getting no better. But he's right on the issues. He's right on the issues. Single-payer health care. He's for it. She's not. Accepts money from corporate donors. He does not. She says yes. Reform the Democratic Party. She says no. He says yes. Tuition-free college. He's right on that. Part of the 99%. He is. She's not. She's a 100 millionaire. Raise minimum wage to $15 immediately. He says yes. She says no. Supports fracking. She does. He doesn't. Abolish for-profit prisons. He says do it. She's not sure about it. Federal marijuana legalization, she says no, he says yes. So Stephen Jaffe, right on every. If I could vote in that, I would definitely vote for Stephen Jaffe. Stephen Jaffe needs to get his head out of his ass and learn how to give a speech. If he has any chance whatsoever.
California primary, June 5th.
Good luck.
Which is the 50th anniversary of the assassination of Bobby Kennedy.
Oh, wow. And it'll be the assassination of progressivism in that district. Our next live Jimmy Dore show is July 1st in Portland, Oregon. There's a link for tickets for all of our live shows right there. And if you can remember, please take a moment to make sure you're subscribed to the show. It only takes a second. You probably think you're subscribed, but you probably aren't. Just make sure you're subscribed. Click that bell so they send you a notice when we drop a video. Otherwise, they won't tell you. And if you become a premium member or a Patreon, we give you hours of bonus material every week. And we do a live chat every Saturday at 2 p.m. Pacific time where you can ask us questions and we'll answer them. Plus, we're on Steam It. We're steaming it right now.